What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Creatia Conversation. I am your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I am joined today by my co-host at the Will Gray. What's going on, Will?
Travis, it's always good to see you. I'm a little heartbroken that Auto-Tune Travis couldn't be with us, but the technological gods weren't in our favor.
Yeah, it's been a
But
day already.
but say la vie. It's a good Tuesday morning. Got some big news coming up. I'm excited to chat with you about it.
I got you. I know what you meant. What else been going on, man? What you been watching? What you been playing? All that good stuff.
A lot of the same old, same old. I hopped on yesterday and watched your stream. A little bit of what you were playing. Remind me of the name.
Pal World.
Pal World. Pokemon with guns, right? Isn't that what Matt called it?
That's basically what people have been calling it. That's what I was calling it until I started playing.
I
It
watched
is
your
it is more survival game with Pokemon than it is Pokemon with guns. You know, it's surprisingly hooked me in. Like
Matt texted me about it and he was like, "Are you going to play?" And surprisingly, after watching your stream, I brought it up. I was like, okay, so I watched Travis play. It seemed cool. I like a good RPG survival game. I don't do anything new. Ty, I'm probably one of the most boring habitual people on the planet. But I can talk well.
Bridget, what's so wild about me playing Power World? Or is it just because I'm playing something besides Baldur's Gate? Because that is kind of surprising to me too.
I did some deep diving into it. I think I'm going to download it on the Xbox. I'm going to get it and play it some and see what I think about it. Matt was talking about getting a copy of it. If you're playing it and I get it, even though it's still in alpha form, right?
Yes, early access.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. I'll give it a shot and see what's going on. I need something new. I'm still playing Last Day on Earth Survival, the mobile zombie game RPG that I started playing. Tons of cool stuff to do there. They have a battle pass now, and they've got it set up where you can do different quests, and then every 36 hours those dungeons reset now, versus you having to wait an entire month for your map to reset. Like they've got it set up like dungeon crawlers now, so I can do one and then do another one, and I don't have to wait 24 hours for all of it to update.
Wow, Bridget. That's where you're going with this. First of all, I didn't even know you had it. So, hey. And also, how many times do I invite you to play shit with me and it's just like it's months later before you say okay? Like, hey, chill. But anyway. Let me think. Anything else? Anything else new with you?
That's pretty much it. I spent most of my time yesterday looking the game up, kind of diving into it, I think I might try it a little bit. That and, zombie RPGs and wrestling. What about you?
Pal World is new, and I'm 100% in on that. Those of you who are not as familiar with Pal World, it's a great time. Like I said, if you like survival games, hop on in there. It's a good time. It's not as hardcore as a lot of other survival games may be, but it is fun. It is just some B-roll here for you, so you can just kind of see what's going on with it. But I had a lot of fun. Like I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed this because I figured I'd hop in there and I'm like, okay, I'll be in here for maybe an hour and I'll be over it and I'm done and I'll stop. But no, like I think the stream lasted a good like 3.5 hours of me playing this before I was like, okay, I need to stop this because I haven't eaten yet. And let me go ahead and end this. But I'm probably gonna play some more tonight, depending on how the things work out. Because our D&D session is normally Tuesday night, so if we end up canceling, which is looking like it's gonna end up happening, I'll probably end up playing this tonight. But if not, I still get D&D, so I'm cool with that too. But that's all that's new with me. I've been, still watching the same shit. Hunter x Hunter is still high on the priority list. We finished Echo last week. Um, Delicious in Dungeon, which is a show that I think you really should watch. It's on Netflix. I think you would love it. It is 3 episodes in, 4 episodes in now. They've put them out weekly on Thursdays, I think. So yeah, you should definitely check that out, Will.
I love the idea of Dungeons and Dragons pretty much all the time. I'm watching the gameplay here, and hold on one second.
I will hold on 1 second. Yeah. While you all are holding on 1 second, this dinosaur looking thing with the flower on his head, yeah, definitely fucked me up yesterday when I tried to play this shit. Oh, that's a different one. That's a different one. Never mind. But there was this dinosaur looking thing with like flowers on it that thoroughly whooped my ass last night because I got bold and fucked up.
See, I ran into this problem with Lego Fortnite where there was no barrier when you first start. You can just wander out into the wilderness and get fucked up by like the big max level bosses, even if you are just walking around with a stick and a loincloth.
Mhm.
Is it like that where you could just go into the game and just accidentally stumble upon somebody that's just going to wreck you?
I haven't had that happen. Like, thing is, I got fucked up because I was fucking with them. Like, it had no interest in me whatsoever until I attacked it. So it was one of those things like, yeah, it was a way higher level than I was prepared to deal with, but it was also a situation of don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And I started some shit, so there was some shit. So
I tend to find myself in those situations in most RPGs where I'm curious to see what a level 1 character can do. Versus trying to, play the game the way the designers meant for it to be played.
Yeah. But yeah, that's enough of that. I can talk about Palworld for the whole next hour, but we won't. Those of you watching right now, I want to thank you for watching us live. If you're not doing so, know that you can watch us live by going to twitch.tv/Creatia World. That's twitch.tv/Creatia World. And while you're there, subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming. So you take your Amazon Prime account, you take your Twitch account, Fusion, they come together, and you have Prime Gaming, and that makes you able to subscribe to us for the free. No cost to you whatsoever. Also, you can watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/Creatia World. You can subscribe there for free. Doesn't cost you a damn thing. And while you subscribe, there's a little bell next to that. And underneath that bell, there's a little bean hanging down. What I want you to do is I want you to flick that bean. And if you do that, you get notified every time that we go live, every time we drop a new video. Even when we do surprise shit, like when I started streaming Palworld last night, I had no plans on doing that until last night. I sat down like, you know what, I'm going to stream this shit. And I did it. So get yourself notified about all those things. You can also watch us later on YouTube. It's on demand and all that kind of stuff. And also, if you want to watch us later on demand while you're flicking that bean, you can go to pornhub.com/model/Creatia World. Before you flick the bean, after you flick the bean, while you flick the bean. I don't give a fuck. Just do it. Watch us. All that good stuff. And if you want to support us monetarily, the best way to do that is on Patreon at patreon.com/Creatia World. You get, access to exclusive content there, like Return to Wrestling with myself and the Ward Matt Ritter. In Return to Wrestling, where we're going back and watching old WCW stuff right now. We just did Great American Bash 1998. If you know about that era, the Wolfpack is in full swing and it is probably a lot of people's favorite time in WCW. Also, Multiverse with myself and Mara the Shark Watkins. We just watched Justice League War World, which is still hard for me to say. That 2W thing is just weird, but War World.
War World.
Yeah, it's one where I don't know. Anyway, that was an interesting watch for us. It was a movie that we watched because it was the next one in the Tomorrowverse series of movies. So we're like, oh, watch this next. And it was one we finished, and my opinion was this movie didn't need to happen, but it was just interesting. But it was like when it was over with, I'm like, this didn't accomplish anything. This didn't need to happen at all. But it was fun talking about it though, because there was some weird, cool shit that happens, and I enjoy when weird, cool shit happens. But
I like weird, cool shit.
Yeah. But Will, it's that time.
Is it time?
It is time. It's newsy time.
Just as great without autotune, though. You're the voice of a generation, Travis.
Really? Did you try to fight Ganon too
I
early?
may or may not have, okay, sidebar right quick before newsy time.
Hmm.
In Tears of the Kingdom, you can get a thing that's like the rewind power, right? And you can go backwards. So I hopped on this rock and made it go up in space. And then I
Okay.
realized I didn't have any way to get down. So so that's the kind of player I am. I'm like, oh shit, I can make this go back up in the air. Let's ride it and see where it goes. And then I realize, oh yeah, I don't have any way safely down.
One of those
So
moments
yeah,
when you're like, well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions.
the personification of real life Will Gray in video game form.
Oh, man. And yes, you 100% need to download Power World because it is so fucking fun. Like, I was not prepared. But, well, it is newsy time, and we got news to talk about because some big news dropped this morning. If you're a wrestling fan, you're aware of this little thing that exists called Monday Night Raw, I believe. You know, have you heard of it? Have you heard of it, Will?
I believe so. I think it's it's something like one of the longest running television shows, in history.
Yeah. WWE Monday Night Raw is for the longest time has been on cable television. You know, it was on USA for most of that time. There was a brief period of time where it was on TNN. You remember TNN? Remember that was a thing.
The
But
Nashville Network.
yeah, sure. But yeah, most of the time it's been on USA. But that is changing, Will. There were some rumors going around that it might be popping up on Amazon Prime because they were throwing their name in the hat to try to get Monday Night Raw. However, that's not what's happening. So Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix. This article comes from The Verge by Richard Lawler. I don't think he's in relation to Jerry the King Lawler, but for this purpose, we're going to pretend he does.
That's a perfect name to cover wrestling, though.
Yeah, exactly. So Netflix has dabbled into live broadcast over the last year or so, and now the company has announced a long-term deal with WWE to broadcast its headline weekly show, Monday Night Raw. Starting next year, this is the first time Monday Night Raw will broadcast, which will broadcast live each week, is leaving traditional linear television, as it has been the number one rated program on NBC Universal's USA Network. It has tie-ins to NBCU's streaming platform Peacock. The deal is even more comprehensive outside of the US, where Netflix is also obtaining the rights to WWE shows like SmackDown and NXT, plus monthly premium live events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble. NBC Universal's Peacock service still has the rights locked up for those premium events in the US, at least for now. Netflix's deal for Raw covers the USA, Canada, UK, and Latin America, among other territories, with additional countries and regions to be added over time. Aside from both companies confirming it's a long-term, that's in quotes, deal, the terms were not disclosed officially. But according to Deadline, the agreement between Netflix and the WWE runs for 10 years and will cost the streamer more than $5 billion. Good goddamn. The news was announced just hours ahead of Netflix's early earnings call and comes amid increased competition, price hikes, and a focus on the company's ad-supported streaming offerings. Whew, Will Gray. Will. Raw's going to Netflix, man. What you think? You're muted. You're still muted.
Oh, here. It's my first day on the job, ladies and gentlemen.
It's okay.
I reported on December 3rd. I had gotten word that Triple H had a meeting with people at Netflix, and we reported on Botch Spots then. I think it's a great move. A lot of wrestling companies have moved to streaming services. NWA, GCW, CZW, IWTV. A lot of these, like, I'm not mid-tier to high-tier indie promotions are all running on streaming now.
Mhm.
And then with the NWA moving to CW and now WWE moving to Netflix, it solidifies the fact that that's the next wave of where media is going.
Oh yeah.
Because with them not needing to be on a solidified cable channel or anything, it shows that one, ratings only matter to marked out fans on the internet and shareholders. Because WWE moving to Netflix says we don't care about ratings. They're not going to worry about if 1 million people tune in or not because it's going to be on a streaming service now, and they're going to get. I think the estimated thing was like 17.5 million unique viewers yearly.
Yeah.
Is
So
what WWE brings in. It's ridiculous. Nick Khan did confirm this morning on the Pat McAfee show right before we went out that it's a 5-year or 10-year deal with $5 billion. After 5 years, though, Netflix or WWE, either one can go, thanks, but no thanks. So
Mhm.
for 5 years, it's on Netflix. After 5 years, they reevaluate the deal to see if both sides are happy with the last 5 years, which I think is a cool way to set that up because both partnerships are big enough. They don't necessarily need each other.
Mhm.
So after 5 years, they're like, hey, this was cool, but let's go do something else now.
Yeah, so they can hit that 5-year mark, and we can, maybe see them on a different stream service. Like they can pop up over on Prime, like we were talking about before, or I don't know, fucking Disney Plus. Like who the fuck knows? Like
That's the perfect example. It gives everybody an open option, including Netflix. If they don't get the return they want, they can cut it, and whatever they have left to pay out of that $5 billion, they'll be able to get out of it. Whatever's left after that 5-year mark. So one would
right,
assume $2.5 billion, but I don't know how the payout works.
right. Or Peacock can come back and be like, okay, we see you're renegotiating, looking over this stuff now. Come on back, we'll up the money, and you put Raw on Peacock as well. Well, NBC Universal will say you can put that on Peacock as well, along with your other shit, and my bad, here's more money.
He's a beast, and the deals they're working and the way they're wheeling and dealing right now in WWE, not to sound cheesy or cliche, but the new regime coming in is changing how WWE does business. Vince McMahon isn't running it anymore. It's Nick Khan and Triple H at the helm, and you can see daily that they're making changes that Vince would have never been okay with.
Oh yeah, for all intents and purposes, Vince is a dinosaur. So it's just he sees things a certain way, and that's the only way he thinks things work. So he was like, I innovated this and brought in, some new shit. And the way I brought it in is boom, the greatest ever. No need to change it. Just do what I say and we'll be successful. And we see now it's better without him. So
While it brings up a good point, yeah, outside the United States, every bit of WWE content will be moved there. So that means in the countries like Canada, for instance, we were just talking, I was talking to Rylan about this earlier. With them going to Canada, they were still on a version of the WWE network. Now everything's just going to get moved to Netflix for them on the surface right now. Nick Khan said there's 10 and a half months left before the deal starts. So there's going to be lots of wiggling around and stuff shifting into position, including the possibility of it being Monday Night Raw, but also the possibility of it moving somewhere else. He said right now it's on Mondays, but there's 10 and a half months. That doesn't mean come October or come January or whatever, that's where we'll be. He was like, so January 1 could be Wednesday Night Raw, Thursday Night Raw.
I mean, them moving Raw to Netflix also next year makes the possibility of Travis watching it on a regular basis even higher now, because at this point I was just, if I felt like it, I'd watch it on Hulu the next day kind of thing, because I don't have cable and I'm not paying for cable. It's just, I don't see the point in it. But yeah, I'd watch it on Hulu the next day. That was that hour and a half that the 90-minute versions of stuff got cut. We've talked about this a million times before, but that whole not good enough for Hulu thing that me and Matt used to do every week, because there was always stuff cut that I didn't see. And it almost always involved the black people. But yeah, man, like this is exciting. More news though, in that same vein. This article comes from Variety from Joe Otterson. Dwayne Johnson named board member of WWE parent TKO Group, granted full ownership of The Rock trademark. So The Rock is now on the board of directors. Big news here. So, like I said, this comes from Variety. Dwayne Johnson has joined the board of directors of TKO Group Holdings Incorporated, the company formed by Endeavor that merged WWE and UFC. Johnson, one of the most popular actors and media personalities on the planet, broke out as a star for WWE, then WWF in the 1990s. In early 2000s, he held multiple, blah, blah, blah. We know who The Rock is. Here's a quote from him. I'm thrilled to partner with Dwayne and welcome his immense talent to TKO's board, said Ariel Emanuel, CEO of TKO. Dwayne brings an incredible track record of creating content and building globally recognized consumer brands, and he will play a key role in realizing our ambitions for TKO. WWE added that it has also entered into a services merchandise agreement with Johnson. Under that agreement, Johnson will provide promotional, licensing, and other services to the company. Johnson also gains ownership of the trademark name The Rock as part of an intellectual assignment agreement. That's a big deal, too. He can start just going by The Rock out there and not have to pay WWE, which is pretty fucking cool.
This is a huge... Other than the fact that The Rock is one of the biggest stars on the planet, either in wrestling or otherwise, you look at the fact that now, okay, put your tinfoil hats on. We're going to speculate a little bit, okay?
Pull into the speculation station. I got you.
We know that The Rock was in multiple lawsuits as far as bolstering numbers for like Black Adam and stuff, and all the hearsay that was involved there that all got settled and kind of swept under the rug, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is me again, speculation. Did The Rock's Hollywood credentials get tarnished enough that he's going back to TKO because he needs that paycheck? Because we both know, even in the small amount of the corporate business world we've worked in, to be a board member and a high ranking official inside of a company, especially a $20 billion organization like TKO, that's more than a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
How is he going to be able to manage that, being a voting member of the board for TKO, on top of his already rigorous Hollywood schedule?
Well, there are ways. One way we know that people do balance those kinds of things when they're on boards of directors and they don't really have the time. They send proxies, And
also true. Okay.
So I'm sure he has, attorneys and all that he can send his proxies and all that kind of stuff. He kind of lets them know what he wants, and they go and they represent his interests. I'm sure he'll find a way. I'm more interested to see how do I put this? I want to see how just toxic the internet's going to get about this. Like that's really what I want to see. I want to see the flames, because I know, especially with them going in the direction I think they're going in with him facing Roman at Mania. Like, oh, he's going to put himself over because he's on the board of directors. I'm like, y'all are fucking dumb. But it's just like, I'm waiting on it. I'm just, when it happens, I'm like, I don't pay as much attention to Twitter as I know I should. But when it kicks off, I want to be there.
The IWC melting down and watching it happen is one of my favorite sports.
Yeah.
Like, I love how they interact. And you're right. They'll just get the guys from Young Rock. They look just like him, right?
I mean, he put one of them in Black Adam, so, You're right. It will not take long at all. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's see. Anything else from this one? There's just more stuff about who The Rock is, and we know who The Rock is, so I don't think we need to delve into that any further.
The guy who makes $95 million a movie.
Yeah, that guy. I don't think it's necessary for us to get any deeper into that shit. So what I'll say is it's about time for us to go ahead and talk about the people that help pay for this shit. The ads and all that good stuff. If you watch this show on Patreon, patreon.com/Creatia World, you can get this show and all of our other shows ad free. However, since you're watching live right now, not watching there, I'm gonna just give you some ads. Y'all, I know we're having a lot of fun right now, but I actually want to talk to you about something very important: your health. You see, life is full of twists and turns, and that's why having the right health insurance matters. I want to make sure you have the coverage you need without breaking the bank, and that starts with speaking to me for absolutely no charge. Having health insurance isn't just about doctor visits, though. It's about living a healthier, happier life. Physical health and mental well-being go hand in hand, and that's why the plans I represent cover not just the physical, but the mental aspects of your health as well. And here's the deal. I'm very good at what I do. So not only can I find you the perfect plan, but I might even be able to get you one for free. That's right, free advice and a free plan. Your health is too important to compromise. So let's chat, find the right plan, and ensure your well-being. Just visit health.creatiaworld.com today to schedule a free consultation. The link is right here in the description. That's health.creatiaworld.com. Your health, your future. And we're back. All right, well, I like to come back from break and hit a trailer or two.
I'm here for it. Love trailers.
So let's do that. We got a trailer for Princess Peach Showtime.
Princess Peach Showtime.
Mm-hmm. And that look you just gave me is exactly why I said let's watch this trailer. Sound is good.
Whoa.
Howdy there.
Cowgirl Peach.
Rocking the 40 ounce.
Sword Fighter Peach. Okay.
This is what happens after 30 years of waiting for the same dude to come save you. You finally be a bad bitch and take care of it yourself.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Patisserie.
Why would they not just say, like,
Baker?
yeah, or chef?
Yeah.
Kung Fu Peach. I'm here for Kung Fu Peach.
Do you make much patisserie?
I have been known to do pastries in my free time. I don't do much with sugar molds and stuff, but I do pastry. Yeah,
Okay,
I can bake.
okay. So since I have you here, because I've been trying to figure this out for a while and nobody's been able to give me an answer that makes sense to me, because it might just be me not understanding. What exactly is the difference between patisserie and other pastry?
Honestly, it's not a difference. It's the French word for pastry chef.
Oh, it's like a champagne versus sparkling wine kind of thing.
Exactly.
Got you.
The way it was used.
Got you. Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
The way it was used here for them to say, patisserie peach or whatever. My French is terrible. Is like saying pastry chef peach. Ultimately,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of the same thing. It's a person who does pastry.
Mhm.
Like it's the French. Like we would say pastry chef because that's how we would do it in English. In French, they have a word for that person.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's not really a difference.
By the way, Matt, that's great. Honestly, I kind of want to just start over and do those stories again just to fuck with him. But
just start the back half of the episode.
Just do the whole thing and act like we never said it. Yeah. Because fuck him. I do what I want. But instead of that, we're gonna go back to something else. We're gonna talk about Power World some more. Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Fuck you. So, first thing, Power World had a huge weekend. Will, I don't know if you knew this, but Power World's kind of a big deal. And since we're talking about Power World, I'll throw that B-roll back up here again, just so you all can check that out, because I don't know, man. I think the game is just really fucking cool.
It looked great. So is that like a leveling system or something?
Well, this right here is actually the elemental stuff. So it's just like all them, they all have elements, just like Pokemon do. So
For sure.
what's strong against what and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's a leveling system and everything.
Okay.
So anyway, Power World has a huge weekend, sells 5 million, and overtakes Cyberpunk 2077 in Steam's most played games list. This article comes from IGN from Wesleyan Pool. Power World's astonishing success swelled over the weekend, with the Pokemon with Guns survival and crafting games shooting up Steam's most played games list and selling millions more copies. Power World launched January 19th, not the 29th, in early access form on Steam, as well as Xbox and Windows PC. Day and date with Game Pass. Power World overtook CD Projekt's Cyberpunk 2077 to set Steam's fifth highest peak concurrent player count with 1,291,967 online at the same damn time on Steam. Yeah. Power World is currently the most played game on Steam, ahead of Behemoth's Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and PUBG. It is just the sixth game ever to hit 1 million concurrents on Steam. There are a number of Steam records that go along with this success on Steam. Power World is now the most played Japanese-developed game ever on Steam. Its developer, Pocket Pair, is based in Tokyo. Ahead of previous record holder Elden Ring, and Power World is the second most played paid game on Steam, behind PUBG's perhaps insurmountable peak concurrent figure of 3,257,248, which was set before the Battle Royale went free to play. All right. Meanwhile, Pocket Pair said Power World sold over 5 million in about 3 days, with 86,000 copies selling per hour. For context, Insomniac's Spider-Man sold 3.3. Oh, that killed the B-roll. Let me get that back in there. There we go. Fucking ads. Yeah. Spider-Man sold 3.3 million copies in its first 3 days on sale. Sony Santa Monica Studios' God of War sold 3.1 million in 3 days. And Naughty Dog's The Last of Us 2 sold 4 million in the same time period. Power World then has sold faster than the fastest selling first-party PS4 exclusive ever in a 3-day sales window. All this despite the availability day one on Game Pass. And I'm about to say that's a huge deal there, because it's also on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can just play the shit for free. But people bought the shit on Steam instead. Now, the reason behind that is probably because the whole servers thing. We'll get into that in just a second. While Power World is a clear smash hit, it is not without controversy. Last week, IGN reported on how some Pokemon fans were taking to social media to point out striking similarities between Power World's pals and the Pokemon themselves. Elsewhere, the Xbox version continues to lag behind the Steam version in terms of key features and updates. Power World's enormous launch has seen its servers struggle too. But yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was looking it up while we were watching, and you were reading the article, because I was looking to see like where I can get it. One, I wanted to check if I could run it on Mac. Of course not. So I immediately went to Xbox to see, and I was so hyped. You said Game Pass, and as you were talking about it, I was reading that it's on Game Pass. So I'm probably not going to start it till I get back from the Rumble on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be a good chunk of next week that I'm going to be investing into this game. Now that I know I can play it for free, I'm probably going to jump into it come Sunday night and invest some time in it.
What are you uncertain about, Matt? Tell me what you're uncertain about.
It seems like a lot of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom-ish, and that's kind of what I think Matt was the one who told me that when he and I were talking about it. I like that RPG aspect of it, but adding the whole concept of a Pokemon style go out, hunt them down, get them all kind of thing, like catch them all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. Like I'm gonna spend some time playing this game, especially now that I found out I can do it for free.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have Game Pass, you can go ahead and get Game Pass. It actually would be cheaper than buying the game if you do it now just to try it out. However, if you use Game Pass on PC, which I do, there's actually still a 2-week trial for $1, so you can try this game out for $1.
Yeah.
So we got some more news here. It's more about Pal World. It comes from comicbook.com. The Pal World devs aren't concerned about Pokemon plagiarism claims. Pal World's CEO says the company has, quote, no intention of infringing upon intellectual property, end quote, of others. So this article comes from comicbook.com from Logan Moore. The CEO of Pocket Pair, the developer behind the hugely successful Pal World, isn't worried about claims that the game is plagiarizing Pokemon. Since its first reveal years ago, Pal World has been dubbed, quote, Pokemon with guns, end quote, by fans, given that it features many cute monsters that are combined with guns and other survival stylings. Despite these baseline similarities between Pokemon and Pal World, though, Pocket Pair is firm in its belief that it has a wholly unique game on its hands. There we go. That's how words work. Speaking to Automaton, Pocket Pair CEO Takaru Mizobi opened up about these comparisons that have been drawn between the monsters in Pokemon and Pal World. In response, Mizobi said Pocket Pair already went through a process prior to Pal World's launch to ensure that it wasn't infringing on other creations. As a result, no outside companies ended up taking action on Pocket Pair, which means that the studio believes it's now in the clear. Which I was thinking myself too. Like, you think that if somehow they were infringing on Pokemon's copyright, that Xbox or Microsoft, this multi-billion-dollar company, would put it on their platform for you to just download for free as part of their premier service and be like, yeah, it's okay, infringe on copyright. You don't think they took a look at that first? Like,
that's a big one. Nintendo is notoriously known for shutting down even small-time creators on like Etsy and stuff if something looks too close to Mario.
yeah.
So these guys had to have spent some money on their legal team to make sure this was done before they sent it out, because they had to have known there were going to be some cease and desists coming their way just looking at the creatures. If you took everything away from that and you ran around, you couldn't tell me somebody wouldn't go, this is some kind of a weird new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
But they did a good job with it, and they've apparently got the go-ahead because, again, it's already out there, even if it is in early access and stuff, but they wouldn't have got this far with it if they were going to worry about it getting shut down.
Yeah. The article goes on to say, elsewhere in Mizobi's conversation, he mentioned that he doesn't even believe Pokemon is the franchise that Pal World is most similar to. While acknowledging that Pokemon is a, quote, great predecessor, end quote, to Pal World, Mizobi said that he believes Pocket Pair's latest game is far more similar to something like Ark Survival Evolved. Given the gameplay mechanics and systems of Pal World, it's easy to see why Mizobi has this belief, even if the game is filled with Pokemon-like creatures, which it's true. Like I was telling you earlier, it's a survival game with Pokemon creatures in it. Like it's not a Pokemon game with guns. It's more the survival game with Pokemon.
So do you collect them? Like, is there a reason why you're collecting these monsters?
Yes, you capture them and then you bring them back to your base and enslave them.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
They gather materials for you. They, carry stuff around. They also fight with you too, though. And you capture them.
You can take them into battle?
Yes, inside of a PAL sphere.
A PAL sphere. Like, not to be confused with a Pokeball?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Oh man. But yeah. So yeah, you still collect them, you still, fight with them, and you take them back to your base and you enslave them. You like, hey, gather wood, you gather stone, you gather ore. It's actually specific pals that do certain things, so you can't just assign any pal to do things. They'll just do what their thing is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You tell your fire pal to stand around your camp at night so you can see what the fuck's going on.
yeah, you can have them light fires for you and all that kind of shit. That's exactly what you do.
Okay.
Like there's a thing that I have, and they're like, in order to make a bigger fire, I think you need to get a fire pal that can like, breathe fire or something like this to make the fire bigger and shit. It's a whole thing. I just caught these penguin motherfuckers last night. That was like the last thing I did. They had ice powers. It's like I finally have some that actually like blast and shit. Because the ones I had at first were like this cat thing, and then there was these sheep ones, and then chicken ones. They're like the three that were just around all the time. So I had a bunch of those. But then one night there was these I realized if you wait till like right before dawn, these like owl kind of things are there, and they have these kind of like, they're like dark Pokemon. So they have, darkness blast and all that kind of shit.
Okay.
And caught one of those. I tried to catch two of them, but I accidentally killed the other one. So that's the thing. They were too close to my base, and the pals that were in my base came out to help me when I was fighting them, and they killed one.
At the core of the game, is it just, okay, you're going to build your base, you're surviving, right?
Yes.
So is there a story inside the game then?
Well, you wake up and you're like on this island. You're like, it's like, what, you don't know how you got there or anything like that. You have to survive. But there's like this syndicate on the island, and I got attacked by them once, and there's a tower that you got to go to. And, I haven't done that yet, but you go to the tower to fight them and you take them down.
Okay, so there is a story. Oh, see, this is just checking boxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's got RP, like the idea of just going out into an open world game like this and just farming and catching, the pals, like that seems cool. But then also grinding missions and stuff and having a leveling system and gear, and like, hell yeah, this game checks a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah, like once we're done with it, I'm supposed to get back to work, and I kind of want to be like, I'm taking the rest of the day off to play Power World, but I won't.
I can't, and that's why I was like, I'm not even going to download it till I get back from the Rumble, because if I start playing it, like all the stuff I was talking about before, like when we get done here, none of that shit would get done if I downloaded this game. I can already tell.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
Power World and wrestling, Travis.
That's what today was. And honestly, day well spent.
I'm not mad about it.
All right. Let's we'll do one more trailer and then we'll get out of here. All right. Let's see. This one is called The Zebra Man.
The Zebra Man.
Yep.
Well. Right off the rip, I love a good 8-bit throwback.
Okay. This is not what I was expecting at all. I love this. You can pet the dog. Important. Damn. Oh, I love it. I don't know where the zebra part comes in, but okay.
That's all I need is a guy in a furry hat. That's close enough to the Zebra Man. That's all I needed. It looks like, you remember the old overhead like GTA 1 and 2?
Oh yeah. My brother had those. I didn't play them myself, but I saw my brother play them.
Like that's what that reminded me of. Is like, and like I said, as soon as it turned on, first thing I said was, I love a good 8-bit throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. A game that's purely based on gameplay and just like, having fun with it versus leaning into the graphics as much as some modern games do. 100%. I'll play a good platforming, like overhead 2D side scroller. Hell yeah.
Also, it would be incredible on shrooms. I believe he was talking about Power World at the time.
Power World, yeah.
But honestly, I mean, the Zebra Man probably would be too.
Zebra Man would be a lot of fun. How World on Mushrooms, also a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, all right, Will. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you.
It's
More than
always
you
fun.
know, sir.
Hey, I'm here. It's a lot of times at the core of this, I just like hanging out with my friends.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah.
But folks, thank you all for being here as well. We really appreciate you. Also know you can follow us on all of the socials and all of the stuff, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. Also, want you to go to creatiaworld.com, and that where you can see all of our stuff. Everything that we do, all the links to it all is right there. But also on other socials, facebook.com/Creatia World. You go there, you can also watch us live along with the other places we talked about, like, YouTube and Twitch and all that. And we just lost Will. But you know what? I'll finish this up anyway. You can also check us out on Facebook in our groups at facebook.com/groups/demdragons. That is a group if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Here's Will. He's back. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, all that good stuff. You go there and you can check it out, hang out with us, have a great time. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, you can go to facebook.com/group/Smack It Raw. It is the official Facebook group for the Smack It Raw podcast featuring the Warden Matt Ritter, Vince Day Delgado, and Katie Kinsey Bay every Saturday night at midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central Time. You can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at Lord_Cussalot. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT at the Will Gray. Thank you for coming back. Where can they find you?
As always, I don't know why my computer shit the bed that, but it's fine. We're here. If you want my shenanigans elsewhere, check my link tree at the Will Gray. You'll find everything I do for Botch Bots and Share Shots, Off the Top Media, Creatia World, and Last Word on Sports.
All right. That'll be it for today. We'll catch you all next time. Until then, we out.